TPC and Toy Daddies, TPC and Toy Daddies.
Welcome to the Toy Pick Community Top 10, brought to you by the Toy Daddies.
Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's the hosts of the Toy Pick Community. It is Yimbo Reviews Everything with my man, Toy Father, fellow Toy Daddy, and our very, very special guest tonight. It is Trevor 16 Shooter. Look at that. I got my pointing right.
I know, right? That's the hardest thing to get down,
it.
I think, with this thing. It's just like,
Yeah.
there, this guy here.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us as we celebrate the top 10 photos voted on by you, the Instagram community. This is the batch that was released this past Friday on, what was our date, Chris? It was
27th.
There we go, January 27th. And it worked out so nicely because literally, Trevor, you were in our top 10 last week. Mm-hmm. And as it turned out, our fellow Toy Daddy No Chewing could not make it this week. And it said, hey, you know what? Look, I was just talking about getting Trevor on here. Let's just see if he's free. And you are. So this is so cool. I've been selling.
And I do some chewing, so that works out. There's no crossover there. It's completely different people.
Well, this is gonna be so nice because Chris, I'm just gonna be sitting here every time Trevor talks and just listen. I said to Chris earlier, I'm just gonna mark out for everything, just listening and trying to learn what I can. I always tell people to listen to you whenever you get a chance to listen to you talk about photography and toys because it's the best. So
yeah, after a while you got to tune out though. It gets a little redundant. But
no. This is such a pleasure to have you on, Chris. What were you gonna say?
Thanks, man. No, it's great to be here. I love this stuff, man.
Yeah,
fantastic. I like what you guys are doing with this too.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you. I mean, when Yimbo said, hey, do you mind if we get 16 Shooter? I was like, do I mind? Just invite him. Like, you don't even have to ask. Just bring him on. Because you know what? You're going to bring a point of view which I think sometimes we miss here. Because what we do for every single photo is we celebrate it, right? Mm-hmm. But for at least myself, I'll speak for myself. I do not have the technical terminology or any of the technical background to really say what's going on in the photo. I just learned what bokeh is. I just learned what a Dutch tilt is. So I'm here as a student to learn, and I am hoping Toy Father myself learn some new terms today to use. I learned a new term the other day at Toy Talk, and I'm sure you guys know it. It's stop motion term called onion skinning. And
I don't know that. That's out of my
okay. So it's when you use the stop motion, when you do a stop motion video, you use onion skinning. So it shows the last layer of where you put the figure or the photo so that you can line it up. So if it's waving a hand or something like that, onion skinning.
There you go.
Intentionally kept on saying onion layering because I thought it was funny.
At least you're not saying glass onion or something like that.
Glass onion. Great. That was a good movie. I like that movie. We're really excited. We're really excited to have you, Trevor, because the top 10 is near and dear to our hearts. And just to move on a little bit, but we are excited for every single week to celebrate all of these top 10 videos of all the people that got nominated. And so what we ask every single person in the top 10 are 3 questions. One of those questions are, what is your favorite toy growing up? What's the story behind your picture? And then the third is, what is making you happy in the toy community right now? So we get to know some of these photographers, and it's, as you said last week, Yimbo, it is awesome because it's such a global reach, and I get to meet so many different people. Last week we met, was it Mini Cars and Mini Autos, something like that. And he's a police officer in Brazil. And I'm like, I want to know about that too. You have awesome photography, but I want to know about your other life, your real life. So it's been great to get to know people as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So
it's amazing the kind of people who are into this stuff, man. It really is. It's incredible.
It's every walk of life. It's the same thing. So Trevor, when I was at Legion's Con, I remember being on a live saying it's the best of humanity. And my wife always teases me that the live shows, I do the live streams, it always turns it to a love fest, but that's what it is because it literally is everybody from different walks of life but we come together to celebrate these toys that we love and the photography, artwork that we're, all trying to do our own spin on and our own, say our own messages and meanings and themes and tell our stories. Yep. And it's so cool.
And totally people that I probably would have never met, right? From, like you said, all walks of life. And that's what I love. I've met so many great people, so many different people that I probably would have never met.
Yeah.
Like the two of you.
Yep.
Right. Just because of where we lived, this is all thanks to the internet. Like the internet it can be very good, and I feel like we use it for good. It's like connecting with each other, and again realizing that we're not so different after all. All of those things.
There's a guy I started following a while back who was a anchorman in Alaska, like Alaskan news.
Really?
And
who was or is?
He is. Okay. He has a YouTube channel. I will figure out. I can't. The name is escaping me. I'm sorry, man. He hasn't been doing as much anymore, but he did start a YouTube channel. But the point being, like, just such a remote place and like an interesting thing that he did. And then I found out that he was born and lived like literally like a mile from me as a kid and moved to Alaska. It's crazy.
That's
man.
crazy.
It's nuts. Yeah. Very cool.
It is a small world. So thank you everyone in the chat. Chris is running our backstage. He's going to be throwing up our chats throughout. As we take you through the top 10, I'm going to get Trevor have first dibs at the first round of commentary. And I wanted to give, before we jump into it, a little chance to promote some of the stuff that you've been doing, Trev, because again, I love anything that you touch is gold in my eyes. So,
please.
What are some of the things that we can direct people for?
You'd only just see the stuff that I allow to get out, believe me. Well, let's see. I have a YouTube channel, if you don't know. Shooters. Yep.
Just to let everyone know, I did put your IG tag in the description, and your website, your YouTube in the description as well. So
all right.
You can you can definitely say it out loud, but everyone, you can just click on the description and it's right there. Yeah,
go there. Just hit 1,700 followers, which is cool.
Nice. How long did that take?
It ramped up the last year. I mean, it's been I lingered on this for a while. I put up a video here or there every few months, and then I got ramped it up. Legion's Lounge has done a lot to pull that up. 1 6-pack, a little bit of that as well. We got to get more of an audience for that, though, man. There's a lot of 1/6 content out there, believe it or not.
Is there really?
So it's tough to compete. There's something on every night. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's true too.
But Legion's Lounge being so specific has been really, really good. But also the toy photography stuff has been doing really well. And that's what it started out as being, is like toy photography tutorials, behind the scenes. I do some reviews, and I'll shoot the figure as well along with the review to sort of see how it shoots. And that's part of my review. But that's been doing really well. So that's going on. As 78 Points of Articulation said, I've been everywhere lately. He's worried that I'm going to show up in his living room. I might, man. I think I'll book there on next Thursday. So
there you go.
Last night you were on
have dinner ready.
Last night you were on Mott's Toy Box, and I was watching that, and I was like, man, this guy's just streaming every night, right?
Yeah, much to my wife's chagrin.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, it's why I do my shows every other week, because it's a lot, man. You guys know, you guys are doing this every week now. It's and Yimbo, you got stuff going on, and Chris, you got stuff going on. It's
doing doing 2 a week is rough, and
it is.
And I feel bad. I'm here right now, but I know my wife's upstairs. And I'm like, oh man.
I know. I know. And we don't have kids, but we have a very needy dog. And
sure,
he loves me. And if I'm away, she has to deal with that. So it's it's always I always feel bad. Plus I'm coming down here to shoot when I want to shoot and stuff like that. So you gotta.
It's the life we chose. It's the life we chose.
The life
did it choose us, or did it choose us?
They didn't.
Yeah. That is true. As my wife is also laying in bed, probably watching us right now, out on her phone.
Yeah.
Hey, at least she's watching you.
Yeah, that's right. I like to. I love Jace, our friend Storybook Heroes over on Instagram. Yeah, she loves you and they'll get over it. That's that's very true. So yes, everyone, we obviously we're already in a great spot, great moods, and this is time to start diving right in, right, Chris?
You want to dive right in? You got it.
Yeah.
Well, while I pull up this screen, I am like so excited for this week's
That's some good
full
stuff.
of photos. It's really good.
Yeah.
All right. You guys can see that, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. Let me just put it on to full screen.
I love your opening graphic here too, by the way.
All no chewing. He's been doing a lot of the polish for us, and it's been.
Did he do the caricatures as well?
Yes.
Yeah, he drew that. He drew that.
Nice. That's awesome.
I know, right?
Really good.
All right, for the top 10 week of January 21st to 27th, let's check out the top 10 for the TPC. In my live, I kept on saying TCP, and real Conrad, he pointed that out to me. I was like, oh, shoot. And I was already in bed. I was like, I'm not going to take this down, and I'm not going to re-record this.
Toy community pick works as well.
Yeah,
it's all the same.
It works. The toy pick community. Here we go. In the 10th spot, we have the rad toyologist. Love that name. Trevor, take things away, my friends.
I don't want to start every one of these, but
all right,
that's fine.
Fair. That's fair.
I'll
put you
start
on the
this
spot
one.
You know why I'm putting you on the spot? Because of the mount, because of the horsey, and you kill it.
I was just going to say, you
mounts.
points for the headless horseman, that horse here.
Yeah.
This is awesome. And the last Ronin figure is awesome on this horse. I've seen a couple people do this. I really like the sky. This is a good blend. Like you see the light on the nose of the horse and on which one is this? Is this Leonardo?
No. Well, I mean, spoiler alert, everyone. It's Michelangelo.
It's Michelangelo, right? Yeah, right. It's Michelangelo. I forgot. I've not read it yet. I want to read it, but I haven't read it.
Yeah, me too.
Spoiler alert, guys. Sorry.
It was out 2 years ago, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's true.
But I like the fact that he matched the light that's coming in on the nose of the horse and on Michelangelo's camera right, but his left side.
Mm-hmm.
Really good to blend, and even the reddish orange hue that he's got coming in is in the clouds back there. That's key to blending, your backgrounds. I don't know whether he put this. I can't tell whether he put this in post or whether he shot it with the digital background. Zooming in would help, but
I would say
not
it's
really.
a digital. To me, from what I'm seeing, it looks digital.
It does. I'm looking at the focus. Yeah, the focus is good. I think this is just blown up a little bit, but I think he's got the focus on his face, which is good.
Yeah, it does.
I think I would have liked to seen a little more light on the foot soldier on the left side, but it's nice, man. I mean, it's a good concept. Posing's pretty good on the foot ninjas. Not the foot ninjas.
The Foot Clan.
The Foot Clan.
The Foot Clan.
Well, they're ninjas, but the Foot Clan. I'm not a turtle guy. I like it. I mean, his pose is fantastic. I think maybe a little lower on this, and you could get some really it's like filling the frame. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to all the time, but like just getting in there. But dude, I mean, it's really nice focus on the horse and Michelangelo. Sorry, spoiler. And the lighting is good. You blended the lighting with the background. You lit it for the background, which is that's excellent. Really.
And that's something that I know I'm still working on too. Like I just posted a picture tonight, and I was kicking myself because I ended up forgetting to add like an orange glow to a flame effect, and I'm like, and then I had to try to do some edits in post, but it's just there's so many little facets to taking a picture. And it's insane. Like this the amount of things, especially like I said, like as I sit under your learning tree, trying to there's so many other little pieces and details to think of.
Well, there's a thing called, here's another term, motivated lighting, which is like used a lot in like film and stuff, which is like, is there a fireplace over in this side of the room? So if you're cutting away and you don't see the fireplace, that person should have that fire glow on them. You know what I mean? So it's like, it doesn't, in a picture, you're not going to pan over and see what's going on there. So it's fine if like this glow on this horse on its camera left doesn't really make any sense for what's in the picture. It doesn't look like, it could be the sky, it could be the bottom of the sky, but it doesn't, you can take some liberties with that, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it works. It works because it's a contrasting color, and it could be anything going on over there. It could be a fire, it could just be the light from the sunset or whatever. It works. It's good.
So when you do set up your photos, Trevor, in terms of thinking of lighting, is that what you're thinking about? If something is off screen, like in your lighting, are you thinking about, well, this lighting could be coming from, like you said, a fireplace from, the left, but you're not seeing it. Or like if it's outside, the sun is rising from the east, which should be coming. Are you even thinking about that? Or you're just like, all right, let's just light this up?
If it makes sense. I mean, a lot of times there'll be like, I do a lot of reproduction of like outdoor shots, and you pick a background, and there's an obvious light source in the background. Whether or not you see the sun or not, you can tell from the trees that it's hitting or whatever, that's coming from over here and it's shining through. So you've got to get a light source over there in that same direction coming through, or else it's not going to marry up with the background. And you're over here, you should not necessarily on the other side, opposite of the light. If you're in a forest, you shouldn't have a lot of light coming from the other side. You know what I mean? It's going to be pretty dark. So you want to like maybe bounce that light as if it's bouncing off the trees, or maybe you do put like a fire or something there, like a campfire or something, and then you can have that orange glow or something like that. Or maybe it's a battle scene and it's just implied that there's something on fire, or the forest is on fire or whatever. So, it all depends on the shot. You just got to kind of, think about the story that you're telling and figure out whether it makes any sense. But you definitely want to marry whatever you've got in the background, and like he did here with your lighting there, because it's going to blend it. Yeah. Right.
Well, I really appreciate as every single photo in the top 10, the details that everyone puts in, whether it's the positioning, the posing, every single detail works. I think one thing that I'm working on currently is thinking about the details of the lighting. I love lighting, but thinking about where the lighting should be in terms of where it takes place in my scene, right?
Yep.
So that's one step that I feel like I need to evolve as I keep going. But man, Rad Toyologist did an amazing job in terms of just putting all those details together, whether or not this is a digital background or not. It's beautiful. Some of the colors and the lighting together really makes sense. Did he add the red eyes, or is the red eyes on that horse?
That has red eyes, so he must have hit that. Okay. Yeah, if you hit it with a little bit of light, it's definitely going to pop out. I really like the way he lit Michelangelo's face too.
Yes.
That's good, because that's a point of contrast. Like your highest point of contrast should also be, that's your subject. You know what I mean? You really you don't want some bright light over here. You know what I mean? Or like one of these ninjas to be, one of the Foot Clan to be like very bright, because that's going to draw your eye right to them and they're not the focus. So he did a great job of that.
Yeah. Well, Gimmo, do you have anything to say about this?
I'm just still sitting here smiling because I'm like, Trevor's got my brain working on like, I immediately want to start shooting photographs. I told you, like, Trevor, that's how I felt after watching you at Legion's Lab, because like that, or like that at Legion's Con, where you were discussing
the conference,
like that was like a point of, you were literally showing like lighting on the inside with the light coming in the outside, and it was so cool. So it makes me immediately want to take pictures.
And Trevor, like, he was attentively listening, while in the back of his head he was like, I'm so screwed because I locked my keys in my trunk.
No, that is also that day. It was a happy accident. It was a happy
makes for a great story though.
But man, Rad Toyologist, really fantastic job. I love the depth that they created here with the running foot soldiers. And just so everyone knows too, like, Trevor is one of the moderators, the admins of the ACBA Facebook page, and like, it's a good group when you feel like you're ready to hear, like, just like,
gotta be ready.
Such great feedback. It's gonna, like, like, because we always, I still say, if you're ready to post something, post it away, right?
I didn't realize you were one of the admins.
Oh yeah, like, well, of course, the guy knows everything. Like it's Trevor knows everything.
It's it's you got to be ready. Like they say in the way, it's there. Some people are brutally honest. I try to, like, coming from a design background, like I put stuff up, man, on the wall for people to critique, and it was harsh. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it was like hard to hear when you poured something into something, like, oh, you missed this, you missed that, you know. But if you're putting it up for critique, that's what you're hoping to find out. You know what I mean? Like, and it happened to me. You know what I mean? So. Doesn't anymore, or I'll shut you down. No, I'm just kidding. No, I still get like, oh, that foot's not planted. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, all right, okay. But it's a great place to learn, man. Great place.
And that's
to
what
learn.
I wanted to say, you know, as another spot to get to talk to Trevor. You know, that Facebook group is a really great spot when you're ready to, you know, take constructive criticism, because like their goal is to enhance everybody's photography.
Well, it's a lesson in what I like to call thicker skin, right? You need to develop that thicker skin in order to get better, right?
Right.
And you have to be, again, they've evolved to a little more. I think I like to feel like I have something to do with it a little bit, like over time, like, but with Photoshop, they still don't like you taking out stands and things like that. They still like you figuring out a way to hide those things, but I'm telling them that Photoshop is not like you Photoshop this like it's like a dirty word, you know. Not a dirt. It is a tool for every photographer that every photographer, in my opinion, should be using, even if it's just to, you know, enhance the tones, the color of your photograph, even if you don't take out stands or add effects or anything like that.
Right.
It's a tool, man. It's a tool like anything else. So,
exactly. Yeah.
So the Rad Toyologist did write back to me, and here were some answers from his questions. What was your favorite toy growing up? He wrote, probably Playmates, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Leonardo, although there are many close seconds in that line. What's the story behind your picture? I wanted a reason to shoot this amazing horse from Four Horsemen Studios and thought that the NECA Last Ronin was a perfect match. Similar to Turtles in Time, Samurai on a horseback. I had them together on my shelf for about a month before having the time to actual photo shoot. And I wanted some foot soldiers in there for some action. Well, you nailed it. That was it.
Yep.
What is making you happy in the toy community right now? I love seeing the creativity and storytelling and mixing figures and characters into unique photos. I also enjoy the technical side of seeing people create realistic scenes and cinematic shots using these small scale figures. The community in general is very supportive and inspiring. Outside of the photography aspect, the toy community is great in bringing people together and sharing common interests in toys and pop culture, and also helping each other find deals in stock items. And that is true. And that is called enabling.
Yes.
That's not helpful at all, really.
Yeah. I will point out, Rad Toyologist made it in, so he's getting to hear the end of his answers here. But definitely go back and check at the hopefully you stick around now and watch. I know but if you're chomping at the bit to find out what we just said, we just got to hear some great discussions of your photograph. So
it's a great photo, Rad Toyologist.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing it.
And those NECA foot soldiers are not easy to work with, for the record. Like they're get into that. They're still in that NECA, like with the boiling water type of NECA movement. So
like,
they're harder to.
I like to say, like, if like this, I could see this being even tighter shot. You'd have to move some things around, like move his arm in with the sword a little bit tighter, but you could almost do this as a portrait shot and crop in and get the foot soldiers even tighter. Don't be afraid to, like, you don't have to show everything. There are certain places on a figure and a person that you should crop. Where you've cropped them here is fine. I could see this being even tighter and more intense, like really getting in so that Michelangelo and the horse are like the major part of the image. You know what I mean? Really dominating it. And at the bottom of the two foot soldiers, you just see their faces and maybe an arm or something like that. So don't be afraid to, like, cut things in too. Don't be so enamored. I mean, this is just a background, but I see a lot of people getting enamored with their dioramas and like wanting to show everything. It's like, no. We'll get it. Yeah. we'll get it.
But I mean, that is
tight too, you know.
That's also a great point too. Like going back to some shots that you've done in the past and then redoing them with some of these critiques, with some of these adjustments, really it helps, and it's a lot of fun just revisiting some of these things.
I've been able to save shots that I was not crazy about how they turned out after I transferred them, and they were wide shots. And same thing that Trevor's saying, I had too much in it. It was just, but as soon as I switched to getting in tighter and making it more of a vertical portrait, it's like, oh, that works out so much better.
Fill the frame, fill the frame. Unless there's a reason for something to be seen, and give it some air. Things need some air sometimes too. We just looked at a Superman shot yesterday where it was just surrounded by the sky. That worked because it was it framed him basically. But I'd say go back to shot. I'm thinking about doing that actually. I was thinking about doing that last week, like going back to some old shots and reshooting them.
Yeah,
which is an interesting experiment.
Let's do it. Let's see it, Trevor.
Some terrible stuff.
All right, we're ready to go to the next one.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Number 9.
Ian Saunders photography.
Ooh.
Let's soak it in for a second, everyone.
Wow. So I'm super. I'll jump in with this because this is mentioning a technique that I was just discussing on my stream a couple of weeks ago, which is like a frame within a frame. And I have that extreme set, that mansion, and those are, I think, the 2 pillars. So I like that Nosferatu is framed up with those posts, which then created that depth to the fireplace, right? Unless I'm mistaken.
I see. Okay.
It looks like the pillars there. Yeah, the pillars, right. And then that other scene, the fireplace thing, is further back.
So that's in between. Okay, gotcha.
Oh, what happened? Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
It's okay. There we go.
Number 9.
I just got to hear the robot again. So, man, that Nosferatu, this is another shot that makes me go, oh, that would have been a cool figure to own. Like when I had many opportunities at grabbing him.
It's a good figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great figure. I mean, I really just like this simplicity of it. I do like this figure a lot. Is it something I would buy? No, it's not something I would buy, but this photo makes me want to buy it. It's definitely one of those photos.
It's a great figure. I actually kind of like it more than the first one. Just I kind of like the blue skin and the red eyes on this. So it just gives it a little more like EC Comics feel or whatever. This is really nice. This is an extreme set. Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is really nicely done. The only thing that sticks out I'm going to say the good things first, because the lighting, spot on, man. Whatever you did to get the lighting from behind these things for the fireplace looks like he's in front of a fireplace and there's a glow around him, and then that's just cardboard, which is fantastic. Again, the motivated light, whatever's hitting his hands, it doesn't matter that they're in front of him. There's another light source. There's a lamp there or a candle or something we don't see.
Right.
And it's really dramatic. A lot of his shoulder area is not, at least here, it's probably better in the actual picture. I know that there's compression and stuff like that. It's not as defined, but it doesn't matter. Like, you can see the silhouette, you can see some details. When it gets down to the midsection, you can really see the details and stuff.
Yeah.
I love that he's floating. I don't know if you took out a stand or whatever like that. Who cares?
Right.
The only thing is that little line on this left-hand pillar that just kind of looks like it's almost cut. Like, because, Yimbo, when you said, like, it was 2 separate planes, I saw it. Because at first I was trying to discern, like, is that the wall behind him? But no, he's inside that. And now you can see it if you look at the floor. But that little line, that may be a product of the cardboard. I know it's cardboard. Just kind of like, that might be something in Photoshop that you just want to just take out, clone over or something like that. But, dude, this is really not. The other thing about this stuff is, I'm sorry.
Do it.
Yeah.
But these extreme sets have a certain angle that they're lit from. You know what I mean? Like, and if you don't light from that same angle, it blows the whole illusion. And he did that. He lit it from the right side, and it all works, man. Really, really, I really like this. This is really nice.
And I have 2 extreme sets, and it, like, again, lighting with them was a learning curve in and of itself. It's hard, because you know, like, you can't just flood it, because it will just look like printed cardboard. As
you're
opposed
at the mercy.
To,
they've lit it from the top left. You know what I mean? So the shadows on the wall, you know, molding is like, you know, hitting the. So you just got to go with it. So
Well, he did write back to me, and he for his questions and what was his favorite toy growing up. Uh, I'm seeing a pattern. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, everything. He loves Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, everything. What's the story behind your picture? I was imagining a stranger walking into Nosferatu's home. As the stranger enters, Nosferatu emerges, and the tips of his toes slightly skim the floor as he floats ghost-like towards the stranger.
Totally.
Yeah, nailed that. What is making you happy in the toy community right now? My favorite part of the toy community is the support from other photographers. It is not a toxic community at all. Everyone helps each other, and the toy community is so positive and encapsulated by the joy of collecting and creating. 100%.
Yeah, Trev, we always say, like, hearing the answers to the third questions, you can't help but smile during it, because it's always usually similar sentiments, but we're gonna say
it's always been that way. There was always period of times with where every community that there's some drama. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I got to tell you, in this community, it's fairly quickly quashed or gone away. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty good. Like
even when they're
very supportive and very helpful, and almost everybody's pretty open about techniques. Again, like people say, "Oh, it's great that you show people how to do stuff." It's like, I didn't create this stuff. I didn't.
Yeah,
I'm doing it, but like these techniques are age-old techniques. You know what I mean?
Like the Dutch tilt, everyone.
The Dutch angle, the Pepper's Ghost that work more or less has been.
Wait,
doing
what?
Lately.
Wait, what's the Pepper's Ghost?
Take
me to school. Take me to school.
Pepper's Ghost is when you reflect something onto a piece of glass. I have an image like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you shoot through the glass so that you get the reflection in the shot, and you can do like kind of ghostly effects. It's called Pepper's Ghost because it was made back in the day of like tintype photography, when they would try to like fake. Everybody was into seances and ghosts and stuff, and they tried to fake these ghost things so that they would project these. Yimbo,
you just nominated a photo. I think it was More or Less, right?
Yeah, it was Work More or Less. It was that picture. Yep.
There you go. That's it.
That picture, and that's it. That was another one where it's like, we can't really worry about Ronin spoilers anymore, because like this is 2 years after.
If you've been to the haunted house in Haunted Mansion in Disney, they use that in there a lot.
Oh, I wonder if No Chewing is there right now. Wow, Pepper's Ghost, everyone. I learned a new term. Toy Father learns a new term every show. Pepper's Ghost was it today. Thank you, Trevor.
So, man, Ian, this is a really, just again, bringing it back to you, fantastic picture here. Nosferatu, you struck gold with the idea. This is awesome. So congratulations on a well-deserved 9th place finish last week. Yep.
Amazing.
Really nice. Yep.
All right,
Here we go. Moving on.
Number 8.
Oh, Sean shoots toys. I love me some Venom. All right, Chris, you want to kick things off? We could take turns that way.
Yeah, I mean, I love this photo in general, just with the fog itself or the atmosphere aerosol. I don't know what he used, but I love the fact that it brings me back to those comic book panels where Spider-Man's looking around and it's all foggy. And then all of a sudden you see like the silhouette of Venom coming out, trying to grab him. It's exactly that. I really like the posing in this, and that back leg. You don't see all of it. That's what I really like. It's like he's still coming out of the fog, out in the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just great outdoor photography too.
Yeah. And I know we say it every week, but I will continue to say it because we might have new people here listening. But what's so cool about seeing this top 10 each week is, again, it doesn't matter. It's whatever spoke to the community that week. And like, again, we have some really complex setups, and we have something but this probably took a while. Like, I could see it taking a while depending on how it was put together. But it's just in terms of how the ultimate image looks, sometimes more complicated, details, and something just the figure, the pose, and it's just very cool how it resonates with the rest of the community. So, I'm with you, Chris. Like, I love that coming out of the mist. Trev, do you think that's practical, or do you think that's added?
That looks like a smoke bomb. This looks very Sir Dork.
Smoke bomb.
Yeah.
It does look like, you're right.
And I would say like that is a complex pose to balance if you did take out a stand. And I will say, zooming in on it, I don't see where he took out the stand, which is a good sign. Like, it can be sometimes painfully obvious when somebody's just learned the clone tool, and you can see where the line is. There's a definite line in the smoke where it looks different and it doesn't line up, so that's good. I like the pose. I like the smoke. Overall, I like it. I think there's times when like the natural elements you got to like watch scale, and I mean that can be a boulder, but there's something about it that is screaming like rock to me. I don't know why.
Sure.
Maybe a tighter crop on this would help. Like, again, don't be afraid to just crop in tight on your figure, even if you got some cool stuff back there. Like, I think you crop this in from the top right, real tight. And rock or no rock, and I might make it a better shot, but I mean, I do like your pose. Your pose is great. Smoke bomb or whatever you used here works really well, and you did a great job hiding the stand for sure. Man,
it's
really
so
job.
true. Like, you know, Trevor, you bring up like cutting in and closing it on a figure, and it's true. It's like it's any intro person that wants to start, you know, getting their feet wet in toy photography. That's like just getting close. That's how you want to make a figure look pretty realistic, you know, like get a good pose and start there.
I don't want to say that like everything has to be tightly cropped,
right?
You know, because there are instances when you want something to be surrounded by, you know, white space. Believe me, I'm in design. Like, that is like a thing. Like, but it depends on the position of your figure. The contrast of it. There's a lot to like kind of feel. I think you get it after a while, but I think here it would have made those rocks look a little less like some rocks. If you cropped it in a little bit tighter. I'm just looking at it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing that director thing. Literally. Yeah, I mean, because the pose is great, the smoke is cool, and his face is emerging out of that, which is really, and his claw, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But I still like it. It's still a really nice shot. It is that practical outdoor photography thing.
You know? Yeah, the practical thing. Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, Sean did write back. What was his favorite toy growing up? Growing up, I really didn't have a favorite toy. We weren't blessed with the ability to get a lot of toys. So at my age, it's fun to get some and relive my childhood. And that's right. I mean, many of us were limited, let's say, to get toys, right? And now we have the abilities to get anything we want for most of us. And with that comes great responsibility, right? So, with your funds. What's the story behind your picture? There isn't really a story behind the photo. More of I'm a Spider-Man fan, and Venom is one of my favorite enemies. Plus, I wanted a picture to look like it came out of a comic book. Yes, that's what I thought. Yes. What is making you happy in the toy community right now? I like that the toy community is very friendly and appreciates everybody's art, no matter what the skill level. That is true. Whether you you're starting to begin, like, everyone's willing to help, and that's what I really like. Especially like having Trevor here. To give you those technical aspects, but also give you enough to be like, you know, you got something going on. Let's keep going with it.
And if you're good at, if you're, this is the difference. And this was the difference when I was in like design school and stuff. Like, if you were going to take that and you were going to like remember that the next time and implement some stuff, or go out and watch a YouTube video on on composition or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to be better the next time. And I see that all the time. That's what's cool about it for me. Like, now, like, even just giving somebody a tip, and then the next time they come back, like on Maz's show or something, and they're like, oh my God, yes, you listened. And that this is great, man. You did a great job with this. This is cool. So that's fun.
Yep. So congratulations once again to Sean Shoots Toys, coming in 8th place. Really well done. And again, we look forward to supporting and seeing all your future stuff. Ready to kick it to 7?
Here we go.
Number 7.
I love this name.
I was just about to say, like, I mean, I'm just looking at the name first. The Figma yeezus. I love this. I did have to make sure I had this right. So this is the Doom main character striking down on the Halo main character, correct?
Okay.
So that's what I really like. That figure, that Doom figure, I believe is a Figma figure, and it's like pretty hardly. It's hard to find. It's pretty much sold out everywhere. It's a really great figure.
And that came out somewhat recently too, right?
Recently.
Like people were waiting on it, I guess, for a while, and now you can't find it.
Yeah, I want to say it was in
Really?
like December or something like that.
Okay.
But I really do love this photo a lot. I have to like get it bigger. They did a fantastic job. And thinking back what you were saying about that last run-in picture, Trevor, I think the Figma Yeezus did a great job at making the what's his name, the Demon Slayer. It's not Demon Slayer, whatever, the Doom guy, as the focus, like right here, that you can see the focal point on his mask, and striking down on the Halo Master Chief, and doing a great job with that. I think he did the posing pretty good. I like how you see that like red line striking down with the sword. The after effects about he did a great job with.
Yeah, the point of impact on the back there. But I see what you're saying in the comparison to that first picture. Just with the guy, he's filled the frame in that corner.
Yes,
yes. You don't worry about the figure look, because again, he's just that supporting prop to create the depth of the shot.
Yeah, the only thing I would almost say the opposite of like I almost want to see a little more of Master Chief, because my question here is where does this take place?
Ooh,
I mean you could look at it as a poster shot. Like I don't know if both these guys are able to be in space, because it looks like space. I think there's a little star pattern down there. Let me see.
Or is it from?
Oh, maybe that's a
sparks
spray
from the black. From the swipe.
So it's just a non-black. Okay, that's fine. That's different. But I think just the crop on Master Chief is a little awkward. I would have liked to seen a little bit more of him. But I do like the focus, and yes, the composition is good. Like you've done the right thing. I just would have liked to have seen it almost a little taller, more portrait-like, and see a little bit more of Master Chief, and maybe just not cut off the foot of what is it, Doomslayer?
Doomslayer, that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only other thing is that slice. I don't know if those two lines coming down are supposed to be the sweep of that, and if not, are they not? Those two little lines that are up there by his head that come down?
Yeah, I thought
okay.
Yeah, I thought that was like from the blade coming down.
So if you look at the swoop of like the blade and the angle of where he's coming down, I would think it would go out a little bit further, and it would almost like work even better if they came out and hit that little empty spot in the composition. You know what I mean? And swooped in from that corner. You'd fill that out a little bit more, but it is. I mean, you filled the frame, man, and it's nice. The focus, I think, is good. I don't think you had to have that much focus on Master Chief, so that's cool. The lighting is what it is, because there's no environment to compare it to say where it's from. I don't know if he cut it out.
I'm wondering if it was just going for, and this is what we always end up discovering when we get to the questions. But I usually, because because most of right now I'm like, I wonder if he was going for like a video game cover, like box art, like that. If that was the idea.
Well, yeah, I mean,
with the black, right? Like you're saying, poster, box art, like same concept.
Yep. Could be.
Yeah, we don't know, but here, let me read his answers.
Yes, there we go.
What was your favorite toy growing up? Favorite toy growing up was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, specifically the Green Ranger. Good one. What's the story behind your picture? The story behind all day my photography. I want to captivate my viewers in the deepest depths of fantasy. So there we go. Okay. What is making you happy in the toy community right now? The thing that makes me most happy about the toy community is that we have endless possibilities when it comes to creativeness. And it's so true. Yeah, it's so true. And yes, sometimes there are photography. There are photos that can be similar, but I feel like that comes with the limited scope of the figure itself and the situations those characters get into. But it's true. What I really love is kit bashing, like, and also just putting two figures that have never crossed over together, such as Doomslayer and Master Chief.
Yeah, it's why Mythic Legions have been so much fun to shoot for me lately, because I still don't know the lore, which is a thing I will eventually, Chris and I will be picking your brain down the road, Trevor, for that idea.
And you don't need to, you know what I mean? You can do your own thing with them, which is cool. And you can really do your own thing with anything. It's like, Jason Work More or Less and I talked about this a while ago. We're both we're both in design, and we both are have our own businesses, and we like think analytically, and so it's like harder for us to do like these crossover breakout weird things. It really has to be like some sort of like tie-in, you know what I mean? There has to be some thread, but I love seeing it. It's just like it doesn't come naturally to me or to him, I guess.
No, I get it. So for you, like if it's gonna be a Star Wars shot, it should all be thematic. It should be in the same era, the same scene. You should know who's gonna be interacting in that part of the galaxy. Meanwhile,
or it's gotta be so off kilter, because the Star Wars people will, and I'm a Star Wars fan myself. They will come after you if it's like if there's something, wrong. I did a shot with Maz Kanata holding up Luke's hand, like she found it in a trunk. And it was the wrong. I flipped it because I thought it looked better, but then it was the wrong hand. It wasn't the right hand. So you got to watch that stuff. But stuff to do.
Meanwhile, I'm the guy that puts Deadpool on a Mythic Legions moose, because it makes it easy.
But that's cool. Like that's like that kind of stuff, man. Like if you can do that and you can make something interesting out of it, like that's a skill. There's great people who do that stuff.
But I understand what you're saying. Like when I do crossover things, I always think of like a thread of why they would be together. Yeah. This one makes sense. They're both video games, like both big video games that have like the same type of main character. For me, I think most of like mixing my Power Rangers with my Toei Japanese Spider-Man, because I feel like those came from kind of the same type of design, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And it would be really cool if that ever happened. But
definitely.
Yep. All right. What do you think? Go to number 6.
Congratulations on number 7.
Very
Figma
nice,
yeezus. Yep.
Nice colors too. I really like the colors. That's another good thing. The green and the red. It's nice.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
Definitely. I'm really excited for this next one. Andrea Toy Photography.
Oh, I saw this one. Yeah.
She's awesome. You talk about a person that's like Sir Dork. She takes practical effects to like the next level, and she does an amazing job at it. Person that I think does amazing toy photography. I love when she does these type of scenes where she loves Star Wars, but I love when she it's a lightsaber cutting into a piece of fruit, and this one happens to be a Guinness, but the practical effects around it is fantastic.
Yeah, her stuff is whether she's doing a shot like this or where she's has her diorama setups and her scenes. She's a fantastic. Again, I want to recommend obviously going to follow all of these accounts that we talk about tonight, because that's something that I always try to do either before or after each show, because like the work. The fact that these people are ending up here, it's because there's talent and there's creativity and just so much awesome stuff. So Andrea nailed it. Even with the honestly, a huge reason why I don't shoot a ton of Star Wars is because of editing the lightsaber and getting that glow and that lighting right, Trev. Like where it would be hitting. It is, and it's like I just know I have to be smart about my time and how I'm getting my stuff done. And that's
because it can make or break a Star Wars shot. Really, it really can. If you screw that up, it can look really weird.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You need to get that lightsaber perfect, and I still don't know how to do it.
That's what I'm saying. So
you know what? She's got the red light going on, so she remembered the glow on him, which didn't used to be a thing in the original trilogy, but has become a thing that it gives off that red glow, and it works. Yeah, practical effect wise, man, this is like product photography stuff. It's really nice. I think I would have liked a little bit more on the left, more space, but it still works. And it's Guinness, so points for that.
I hope she tagged them. That's it. I mean, everybody tag these brands.
Well, yeah, because I don't know if you remember Scotch Trooper, rest in peace, but the guy made an entire career out of putting stormtroopers with scotch, and like he had scotches named after him. Companies were like, paying him to put their scotch in. So yeah. Man,
oh, really? I didn't know.
Oh yeah. But you really nicely done, man. I mean, I don't know how much of this is. I know a little bit of his Photoshop and stuff, but it's tough to even just get those splashes and stuff like that, like correct.
I'm also impressed by the lightsaber lighting inside of the can.
Yeah.
Not just on Vader's reflection, but
melting
like
the can itself.
Yeah.
Oh wow, what a nice detail.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, she did write back to me, and in terms of her favorite toy growing up, it was Lego. What's the story behind your picture? Good question. The photo was taken 2 years ago, so I can't remember too well. I like to drink.
Drank the Guinness.
Yeah.
Apparently. I don't remember.
She said, I like to drink Guinness. Darth Vader is one of my favorite Star Wars characters, so I thought the two would go well together. The splash effects are all practical.
Yeah, Darth Vader and Guinness, man. That's a good combination. Oh, yeah. I'm down with that.
What's making you happy in the toy community right now? It's nice to see that everyone is feeling creative and optimistic in the new year compared to last year when people were getting upset with the algorithm. I hear you on that.
I'm still upset with the algorithm, but that's okay. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
You say with disdain.
Well, we could still, but it's I get it. I get where she's coming from. I get where everybody's coming from.
It is. I'll tell you, it is tough because like I came in like 2000, I want to say 16, and I just missed on IG at least. There was a wave, like people who got in 6-8 months to a year before me blew up, like had tens of thousands of followers because it was a floodgate. And not that they weren't good and they didn't deserve it, but like it was just much easier to gain a following, almost like TikTok was when it first started out. And then I got in it and they changed the algorithm like 2 months after I started, and it was a slog, man, to get anybody to give you any kind of likes, man. It was crazy.
And then they changed it again, right? You gotta pay your dues.
That's true.
So number 6, Andrea.
She's so great. Yeah, go check out her account. She's always a pleasure to chat with too.
More women too, man.
Yeah.
Yes. I love seeing more women. If Andrea is a woman, I'm assuming, but
she is.
Awesome. That's excellent, man. There's some great women in toy photography.
I've been trying to get my wife to do an account because she will like take pictures, and I've posted on her behalf to my page, but I'm like, sweetheart, it's so fun. Like you get we have all of this. You're half of your money bought all these toys behind me. Might as well start getting, let's just have
That's
some
the
fun.
way to go, man. You're doing the right thing right there.
But it's very true. Like check out her account. Like every single photo is just like this, if not better. Like really fantastic. Cool. All right, congratulations. Let's go to number 5.
Absolutely.
Number 5.
So this is Paul Brown 12.
Awesome.
And this is what you were just discussing before with creating an outdoor scene indoors and having having that light and making sure that the shadow, man, like so
perfectly done.
Yeah. Because that's the stuff that I haven't been able to do. I mean, and again, not that me doing anything, means anything. It blows my mind when I'm like, oh, look at that lighting coming in and through the thing with the shit. It's a great shot. That's a great shot.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna be stunned with admiring the sunlight right now.
Yeah, the light, you're right, is really fantastic. I mean, it looks like it's from the video game when he gets that master sword and shows it to everyone because he's so proud of it. That stone chair, I don't know what that's from, but I don't know if they made this. Really I love the mound of dirt, the steps leading up to it. It looks like they may have made this Dio, and it looks fantastic. Like really, really good details on it. Especially do you see the little mushrooms coming out, the fungus coming out.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And Chris and I, that's been one of our things, is noticing when people, add those things into the foreground or,
So
to the ground, like that little extra. It's just a nice little subtle detail.
That stuff is important. I think it's really, really nice. It just shows, like, it brings things together. Not to mention, like, even some more mushrooms down there. It acts as a frame, and it brings your eye into the middle again. Again, great contrast on your main figure. Your eye goes right to that figure.
Right.
He said everything in the shot was homemade. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is Pablo.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
I guess Pablo just
this is Paul Brown 12. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was I'm like, wait, I never saw this from you, man. This is Mythic Legions. What are you doing? No, he does a lot of stuff. But Pablo's awesome. Follow Pablo if you're not following.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Pablo's
sure.
great.
Stuff. You'll learn a lot there. But this is, exactly what you're saying, Chris, with the light. The background doesn't dictate exactly where it's coming from, but it works. You know what I mean? And I know that those are like, sort of photoshopped God rays, but they work in this case because, and they're not heavy-handed, and it's based on a video game. Like, it's supposed to have a little bit of magical unnaturality to it. That's not even a word. I don't know what the hell I just said, but
I'm following.
I just made up a word, unnaturality. But like, it's everything about this has a great feel to it. I love the shadow in the front. The light comes in the middle, right on the focus plane.
I keep I keep bringing my eyes closer, like, but I keep getting closer to look at where they added the lens effect, where Paul added the, and it with like a little lens glare on the sword, and it's even on the light side of the sword. Like, it's not, it wasn't just like plopped there. Like, there was in where it hit. They made the stone chair. Oh man, okay.
I guess there's a BTS there.
We'll have to check that out.
It's a really nice dio.
Yeah,
the grass is like in scale,
and
it has a again, even the grass hasn't, like, I use a moss mat. It would have been a little too realistic. Like, this has a good video game feel to it. It feels like a realistic cutscene or something from a video game. I like little leaves coming down from the top.
And the leaves,
oh wow.
No, again, framing, bringing your eye to where your point of interest is.
But not even like, I guess not even the frame of just what we're seeing here, but I like the depth of how they took the photo, because that long path of grass gives it that much more depth of the photo. And I feel like a lot of the photos we only see like, this much of like the foreground, but this we're seeing like the whole scene.
And you know what's great about this really is, if you look at it, there's a lot of times I will see shots where people use a digital background. I don't know if they printed or if this is a digital background, but you got it, like, the plane has to be right too. Like, where like the bottom of a tree is in the background. Yeah, you can fudge a little bit for a hill or something like that.
Sure.
But if it looks completely unnatural, like it's on a different plane, and it suddenly jumps up in the background and the trees are like, eye height, and yet the ground is down here, and that's only like about 20 feet behind them. It doesn't go up like that.
Yeah.
Like, he's done a great job. They've done a great job of like just continuing that background, which is it's a tricky thing when you're going to show. I mean, he's got things cutting it off, which is also a good idea, to find ways to put a barrier between your foreground diorama and your background digital, like anything that can kind of break that and like hide the seam, basically, so to speak. Great job with that.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Were there any answers?
Oh, yes, there were. My apologies. We're now in the top 5. So these are my requests for answers. So I did reach out to Paul, and he said, hey, so again, he was super excited. So favorite toy growing up were the Gen 1 Transformers and G.I. Joes. Yes. Oddly enough, I do not have many photos of either of those, but nevertheless, they were everything when I was a kid. So that's awesome. For 2, for the story of this photo, as I mentioned in my caption, this photo represents a watershed in my toy photography journey. It is a culmination of everything that I have learned, not only in photography, but Photoshop and dio making as well. I gravitate towards sci-fi and fantasy, so it was a match made in heaven when I found this figure. I have big ideas for the future of this guy, so we're all excited. That's fantastic. And then 3, what's making him happy in the toy community right now? The relentless positive support that anyone gets in this community truly makes my heart smile. It is an incredible thing to witness and be a part of. There are those that are more reluctant to engage, but this is diminished by the overwhelming awesomeness of those willing to support you. So with that, he wants to thank us, the Toy Daddy crew, for what we're doing. So thank you, Paul. Thank you for your artwork. I am excited for more figures or pictures of Link and his escapades.
And might I suggest, if you like fantasy, check out Mythic Legions.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
yes,
hey, we have
absolutely
2 mythic noobs right here. We have become, we are diving deep into that rabbit hole. Like I told Trey, I still got the unknown that I'm going to crack open.
Nice.
So yeah,
Sunday. I can't wait.
like Trevor, No Chewing and I booked our hotel rooms that day they announced.
I know. I saw
so
that.
we booked that. We got our tickets. We're super excited. Oh yeah, that's right. You were on the stream. Irish bar. Really excited about that.
Oh my god. I'm just hoping there's a snooker table there.
Did you see the picture of it? I mean, like the hotel is beautiful, and then like
outside with the fire pits.
Yes,
and everything.
yes.
Hell yeah! I hope it's like it was last year, where it was just like nice and cool at night. And go
yeah,
outside. That'd be amazing. Man.
But
it's
even
gonna be great.
Again, I'm going back to this Irish bar. Like the outside of the Irish bar looks like an Irish bar. It's amazing.
It does. The inside of the Irish bar looks like an Irish bar.
I hope so. The outside certainly looks like it.
I'm only 20 minutes away. I think Uber is in my future that night.
Well, like I said, we're gonna get a cot. You can pass that on.
There you go. I will tell you, I just got a box of new stuff today to shoot for them, and whoa, you guys are gonna be crap your pants, man.
I hope it's
amazing.
Cosmic stuff.
Exciting stuff.
All right.
But anyway, great picture, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul Brown 12.
Yep.
Really like this.
Let's move to
Number 4.
Kind of stuff.
All right. The Intergalactic _Raptor. Love that name, Intergalactic Raptor. And
here you go.
Awesome.
What a great
crossover,
shot.
man.
What a great shot.
Yes.
I mean, this speaks to me in terms of my fandom. Like, I know that, like, again, not as a super deep Star Wars fan, but I love Star Wars. You know, I can say, like, I love it. You know, like I love a Twix. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't tell you all the.
I love Star Wars like I love a Twix.
I'm just saying I enjoy it. Like, I love a good Boba Fett. You know, like just like the next guy.
Boba Fett with a caramel center and a crunchy exterior.
So I'm just like, I love the Spider-Man. Like, that is the Mafex Peter B body. That I love that. That's even though I love Sentinel as a figure a little bit more, like that one always has a special place in my heart, especially because of those swappable shoes. So I just love that this is such a simple, fun, just little mashup of Boba Fett on a Spider-Man body.
Yeah, the Peter B Mafex is an amazing one. I do like how Pablo said it itself. He has Max shoe wear. That is the figure itself, and that's what's fantastic about it because it looks so real. In the alley that they shot, and again, going back to why most of these photos are in the top 10. It comes down to the details. Look at all the details that are laid out. Even you can't see that crate in the back, like it's not totally focused, but it's there. You know what it is. Up to the little Star Wars animal. I don't know what they're called.
The porg.
See, you like Star Wars like Twix too, Chris. We should know that. Are they porgs? Is that the name of them? Porgs?
Porgs, yeah.
You don't know what's in a Twix either.
Cookie crumbles, right?
Yeah, something like that. That's a porg.
A porg, okay. And then some of the androids over here. I mean, it's so great. I don't even know what it says on that wall over here, but I'm sure it's just graffiti. It would even be better if there was Star Wars graffiti, but still. And the fake rain is really a nice touch.
Or do you think that that's like a spritz bottle? Do you think that's spray, or is
no?
Is that
because you wouldn't want to do that to your Mafex Peter B.
Well, I'm going to argue with you there.
I'm joking. I'm talking about myself.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, this is why you don't buy used toys from me.
It's like,
but
wow.
I'm gonna start out like it's like lit like a city street. Like it,
Yes.
there's a spotlight or there's a street light somewhere over behind him, and that's creating that light behind him.
Yep.
You know, the helmet's tough to light, but it still works. I love the idea of this mashup, and he's going through an alley with broken down droids and porgs standing by barrels and stuff like that, going through the garbage or whatever. Should have had one in the garbage, coming out of the garbage. But really cool. The one thing I would say is if you're going to put rain in there, post, this is definitely post, and that is a soaking rain post. Either get a lesser rain, to make it look like it's a little bit less, or go the distance, man, and spray that diorama down with water so that he's walking through like a puddle. Spray that jacket down. It'll dry. It's just water. It's just water. It's all gonna dry up.
You're hurting two anxiety guys right now.
You put your clothes in the wash. You dry them. They're fine.
All I say is, what about the mold? What about the mold?
Water. You just gotta dry it. It's water. It's water. But go the extra mile and soak that coat. Put some water on that dio. If it's sealed, you'll be fine. Or leave the rain out, or do a mist or something like that. Do a fog. Fog would be great in there. I mean, he might have some fog in here, but this, I love the concept. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like if you can break yourself out of the need to do like reproductions and stuff like that, and just like cross things up. It's cool. I love it.
This is where I'm going to disagree with Trevor. I don't think he should have gotten that. I don't think he should get it wet. I think it's perfect the way it is.
Get it? Wet. Rain should be bouncing off his helmet if it's that hard to rain. Seriously.
Okay, helmet I could do.
You got to sell it.
Just not the soft
Gotta
goods.
sell it.
Not the soft goods.
Not the soft goods. I always get another one.
What a shot. So Intergalactic Raptor did get back to me. So here we go. In terms of favorite toy growing up, I think one of my favorite toys was the Talk Boy from Home Alone 2. I used to love making my own little audio shows with friends, pranking my sisters with it, general mischief, and weird recordings. I like to think I invented podcasts with it.
I remember that. I remember that thing. Wow.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I don't think I ever had one. I've had other recording devices, and yes, they're just a blast. Yeah, it's not a surprise why we're here. I'm sure all three of us have similar like things that we played with, and now we like to talk on the internet for this stuff. Yeah, exactly. All right, two is the inspiration. So behind the shot was a combination of goofing around with two different figures. And the song Streets of Philadelphia by Bruce Springsteen.
Perfect. Oh, yes. That is perfect.
It randomly came on my Spotify, and I was thinking about the music video where he's walking through the dirty streets, and it's all pretty sad and introspective. I thought that would make an interesting thing to try and capture a darker emotion in toy photography. Then, playing around, I randomly put Cobb Vanth's helmet on my Peter B. Parker figure, and hey, presto, I thought it looked great, so he ended up being my Bruce Springsteen. That's so great.
That is great.
That's awesome. I love that.
I really do love all three questions. Like each one always puts a smile on my face. It's not just the third one. Like even hearing the stories, that's so great. That's so great.
That is great.
All right. And what is making Intergalactic Raptor happy right now is that at the moment is the sharing of techniques and ideas, such as how Work More or Less created the Turtles' Last Ronin shot using Pepper's Ghost. Look at all these shout-outs. Technique it was shared on his page, which inspires many others to give it a try. I think it's cool when a new idea like that kind of goes viral through the community and you see other people's take on it or new ways to use it. Awesome.
I'm going to give you a technique.
Yeah.
Spray bottle filled with water.
There you go.
What is that called? What is that?
Commit to the art. Forget the figure. Commit to the art. This is art, man. This is good. Like if you sold that rain with a soaking wet jacket and puddles, very nice.
But if you're a collector, I totally
no. Listen, Chris. Somebody just said they paid more money for. I've paid ridiculous money for 1/6 clothing, like more than I paid for a suit. I will wet that shit down without without a
That's
hesitation.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. You're making solid
Nothing's
cases,
forever,
Trev.
man. Nothing's forever. Your art
is
is
true.
forever. Your art
Yeah,
will
that's
outlast your figures.
That is very true. Well, Intergalactic Raptor, thank you so much for your answers. Thank you for your art, and ending up here now. This is so great. What are you cracking up about?
No chewing says always be wet. That's what I'm saying.
Oh man.
Well, that's a new
Disney.
term, right? That's what we got. Yeah. All right, let's go.
Yeah,
So
poke
we're
in the
gonna move
back. Poke in the back from the bottom and
and ABW. All right, so let's take a little break right now. Last week we had a secret hashtag, and it was TPC _ joy, and we had like hundreds of photos that went in, and we were really excited. But we like to highlight Monos Photograpicos and Figtography. Figtography.
Yeah.
Two great pictures. I really love this Thor's hammer and Ant-Man and Wasp, and this perspective on that, fantastic. And the Hulk, I just really like the details on this one. Very simple, but congratulations. Thank you for using the hashtag as we go through another secret hashtag for this week. And because we have Trevor here, because we have 1/6 Shooter here,
There we go.
our secret hashtag this week is TPC _16, and they're all letters. So 16, TPC _16. So use it, tag us, put it in, and Trevor, we'll have you pick a few of those photos for
Cool.
to feature next week. Okay?
I feel some pressure now. I have to do something.
Yeah.
I have to use the hashtag.
ABW.
There you go. And this is something that, again, guys, thank you so much for everybody that participates and uses the hashtag. We are still evolving. Again, like we were joking about it at the start of the show, but like we have jobs and things that we do, so we're trying to figure out other ways to continue to enhance and use this secret hashtag. But again, keep using it because it puts us on our radar and we get to nominate people, and this is very cool. And now we know that Trevor will get to be selecting our pick, our special features mid-show next week.
Cool.
Yes. Can't wait. All right, let's move on to number 3.
Secret hashtag.
Storybook Heroes.
Jace, our friend Jace, I believe has been in the chat tonight, but this is Storybook _Heroes. Jace is the man. His photography it's always been at an incredibly high level. And I'm in a group chat with him, and I know, so, without getting into his answers yet, I do know that one of his big inspirations for this shot was plays with plastic, right? No, plastic in action. Plastic in action.
Yeah, plastic.
So,
Jax.
the amazing stop motion, right? I mean, like, his stuff is obviously crazy. So this was pulling from inspiration of the stuff that Jax has done over on his page. It's a superhero, all the basketball stuff, and just so I can't wait to get into his answer. I'll let you guys start things off.
Yeah, I nominated this picture because I love his work, and he's from Guam, and he is or was in a band, so he shreds on the guitar, I believe. And he did like a ad for Google Pixel. He's just a really cool guy, and he has amazing photos. What I really love is just, as we were talking about before, kind of like the mix and match of figures. These are all of just random figures put together, but I love it and it works. And Michael Jordan being the centerpiece, dunking over Hulk, love it. Can I tell you a little story about me playing pickup this past weekend?
Oh, please.
By all means.
So I started I played in a 40-year-old dad's pickup game, and I hadn't played for 15 years. And I'll tell you guys, I was killing it. I was shooting beyond the arc. I was going in for the layups. I was doing some turnaround jumpers. Played for a few hours, and I sprained my ankle.
I was gonna say, how many bottles of aspirin do you have on the sideline in a first aid kits?
And it was pretty bad. Not only that, if I just sprained my ankle and nothing else was wrong, I would have been fine the next day. But I was so sore. My quads were burning. I pulled a muscle in my back and I couldn't turn my neck. And I was like, I got hit by a car.
I have the teacher-student basketball game coming up at my school, and we haven't done one in a few years now. And I haven't really done much of any physical activities since I had kids. So for the last 3.5 years, I've just, I haven't been, I don't know about this game.
Overnight some ankle bracelets.
I guess so. I'm just going to stand there.
Definitely knee pads and everything.
From New York.
But back to this picture. I love this picture. Great figures. And I love the alley set. I mean, in terms of just like all the little details, there's that diorama in the back. You got the gate like just protruding in, and then you got the hoop, and it adds so much depth to the photo itself.
Well, something I want to point out about Storybook's his account is I think that Dio, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the building is from 112 Wonders, another awesome diorama maker and photography account. He has this whole superhero world. It's like I haven't been able to get to his level of like grittiness and realism in terms of his Dio that he's been. So he has this living, breathing thing, and he has the best mashups. Speaking of, just stuff like this, mixing up all these universes together. So I really have to go check out his stuff. And posing in this, like the boxing out, the Spidey and the Michelangelo box out is ridiculously good. And I love the bandana of, so you get that kinetic movement and you get them, slamming bodies underneath the hoop. It's just, I love it. And there's the Captain America. This is where I was going to go with, like, it's just all superheroes that live together. Like, that's a Steve Rogers figure, like one of the third party ones that he's done great work with that, just in the jeans. But that's Steve. Just, hey, just Jordan, no big deal. But Jace,
I get it. All the things you said, like that energy, the movement, the motion is perfect posing.
Mm-hmm.
Really nailing it. And you can like take like Jax's stuff and you can kind of mimic it, to some degree with the lighting. And he's got that overhead lighting as if there's like, that sort of, court light, at night in a city court or whatever. But what I like is, like, if you look at Spider-Man in the background and, like you said, just blocking there, it's like there's that light coming from behind the fence there. You know what I mean? Like, just like yet another like street light. Like, this is city lighting. Like, this is what happens. You know what I mean? There's these, and it's perfect, man. And it helps to accent him against the background, and the lighting. This sells it, man. This is a city street. At like 9:00 at night, guys out there. It's awesome. Love it.
It's so good. So I have really Jason's answers. Again, one of the nicest and most supportive guys in the community. That just me throwing that out there. Just lovely.
I'll be right back. I'm going to listen to the answers. I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
If you want to see amazing photos, just follow him. And just like this, they're just all amazing.
They're so good. So for first question, in terms of childhood toys, I didn't have much toys growing up. But one I do remember was a one-armed Wolverine hand-me-down toy. Gotta love it, man. Hey, that's I love it. That just makes me happy. I wish I had more toys. We were all limited. We were all limited as kids. This is why we get to play with our toys now. Number 2, when I first saw a toy photo, I was blown away. The artist I ran into happened to be Plastic Action. He did some cool marble toys doing street ball. I couldn't believe it was a toy. So from there, I kind of started buying figures and buying dios. I did that picture as a tribute to his work that ended up inspiring me to start taking toy photos. That's awesome. So awesome. I remember that from the chat. See, I have a good memory.
You do. Yeah.
And number 3, so this is what's making him happy right now in the toy community. Everyone makes me happy. I love the people. This list is too long to name, but everyone in the homies chat, that's what I was telling you about. Especially in the peeps chat. mostly everyone is so positive and welcoming of each other and their art, regardless of where they are in skill. I'm happy with the Toy Pick community that are doing tags featuring artists and showing love for their work. And it's not just one page. They have quite a few pages. Most of all, I'm happy because I made some of the dopest friends ever. And dude, that's what it's all about, man. It's friendship. Friendship at the end of the day. That's what's so cool. You know, like I know Chris, I'm usually late liking your stuff, but like we're boys, we're buddies. That's the most important. You know that me missing a like on a photo is not me personally attacking you as a human being.
I honestly have missed so many photos of yours, no chewings, everyone's. I just go on to IG to like chat and then plan our next YouTube.
Instagram is a mess now, though. You got to go down to like pick the following like people because I don't see half the like I don't see Tom's things or TJ's things or anything.
Yeah,
it's brutal. Even my DMs are like chat, like the dots won't go away, so then I don't know if I read one or didn't read one. It's like
somebody sent you a video and you didn't watch the video.
It's just like not a great app.
Not anymore.
But it's all we have. It's all we have.
It really is.
Storybook Heroes, congratulations on 3.
Ace, very awesome work, man. This seriously, this picture is so awesome, so great. Oh man! So now here we are entering our top 2 final spots of last week's top 10. So this is from 850 Sith Lord. Trev, this is I'll let you kick things off, man, because this is Star Wars. This is your wheelhouse.
This is nice composition. Yep, everything here works. I love it. It frames it. The stormtrooper frames Maul, and Maul's your character. Like that's who you're looking at.
And may I just interject? What a nice Dutch tilt, huh?
Yes, Dutch little bit of a Dutch angle, just a slight Dutch angle. And you know what that does? Like if this was a straight shot, again, like it'd be interesting. 100%. It'd be a cool shot. But that Dutch angle, and you can overuse that, but like this is nice, and it just gives it a little bit of action. You know what I mean? It takes everything and puts it a little more off kilter. Even though like the pose he's got on that foreground character is excellent, man. That's really nicely done. I mean, that's really well posed. Like there's a lot of tension on that. You can feel, even though you can't see him, you can see like the fear in his face. You know what I mean? On the back of it. It's really good.
What figure is that Darth Maul? What is that one?
That might be the SH Figuarts one.
Oh, is it? Oh, gosh.
I think it is.
Chris is like, where can I find this?
No, I've been eyeing that
SH
one.
Figuarts. I don't know. I'm not sure. It might not be. It might not. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like SH Figuarts, but man, just the little details. You know, the stuff, the little greeblies and the boxes and stuff that he's got in the corner. Yeah, I'd like to see that. Maybe that Stormtrooper helmet, like a little, like on its side or something, as if there was something. I'm not sure why it's just sitting there, but like that's really, I don't even think that was necessary. I think that could have come out of there. But other than that, the atmosphere behind it keeps that background, you know, it gives it depth. You know, there's depth to it. You can see the depth in this thing. And the light, man, I really love the light on that foreground figure. You don't need to have everything in focus there.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like the inclination would be to put like a bounce card to like get some light. You don't need it. Like he should be in shadow, and he's a silhouette against that bright background, which is perfect. Man. It was a really, really nice shot.
Yeah. That I can't get over the foreground pose because I mean, all of it is posed so well, but you're right.
It's just like he's just been lifted.
Yeah.
Like you can feel the energy.
Like it makes me uncomfortable because you can feel the force choke. Like that's how I feel. Like, it's really well done, man.
Yeah, I love how Darth Maul's just stepping out of the tunnel or whatever that is. His posing is just incredible too. Just that dynamic piece of it.
Yeah, it's real easy, and like the key to this is the eye line on Maul to the figure that he's choking. Like he's looking him right in the face, and if you had screwed that up at all, it wouldn't have sold it as much. Really, really, really good. Love the colors. Color choices are cool.
And I'll throw this question to you, Trev, because when I'm doing that, I've noticed that sometimes I have to over exaggerate. Like, even though I can look at two figures looking at each other or something like that, where it's like looking to the side, like they look like I'm looking at them. Okay, he's looking at that guy, but behind a camera, it'll be that distance. So you really do have to look at it through the camera lens, right? And I'm just asking, does that happen to you where you're like, I know these guys are making eye contact. However, when I'm looking at my camera,
I'll tell you something literally.
Okay.
Like the shot that I just did of the wolves and the two barbarians.
Yeah.
I had a shot that I had done previous to that same shot, but like I had just had them posed slightly differently. And Nate, Corona 4, Nate Strong, I showed it to him, and I don't do this a lot. I don't really run things by people, but I wasn't even sure about the shot in general. Turned out a lot of people liked it, but he noticed that I had the barbarian on the left, which I had painted, and I had painted his eyes kind of up and looking. If you zoom in on him, you can kind of see him like looking towards up a little bit. It's just the way I painted his eyes, and where I had him, he was kind of looking beyond that foreground wolf. And he's like, yeah, the eye line looks a little like off. Like, I'm like, yeah, but I pictured there was more wolves. But again, you got to think of it. As soon as I said it, I knew it was wrong, because it was like, you're thinking about it in your head, but like what people are seeing is what the story is. So like, this guy needs to be looking at that lead wolf right there. And now he is. And I got to tell you, that I think is like probably the best part of this picture. Like, just the fact that he's like looking at him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It makes a contact, and it connects your characters. And the paw up on the guy, on the wolf on the left, just there's connections there. You know what I mean? It sells it, man. That kind of stuff. Just what he did with this shot. It's great. Sells it.
I'm glad I'm not alone though in like, you dumb stupid plastic men, you're looking right at each other. Why doesn't it look like this in the
I have recently gotten this thing called, you're looking, first of all, you're either looking through the viewfinder, or you're looking at this little 3.5-inch screen on the back of your camera. And unless you're constantly zooming in and looking at everything, I got this thing called Camera Connect and Control, I think is what it's called. It's an iPad application, and you can plug it into most cameras, and it acts as if like a monitor. Like, you can buy a monitor for your camera, but they're like $200.
Right.
If you've already got an iPad, you've got it. You can always tether with a computer too, but that's a whole thing. But it allows you to see like big, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you can see, oh, his eyes are not looking,
But what is that? What do you get for the connector again?
So it's an app called Camera Connect and Control.
Okay. And
you just need a USB, whatever your connection to your iPad is. Mine's USB-C, but I know they have the old Lightning ports too. You just have a cord that goes into your output of your camera, depending on your camera. I know that Canon has its own thing for the iPad, and Sony might too.
I have to look at it.
But I think this works with it. I have Nikon, and this works with Nikon. Nikon doesn't have a good option, really, but there is one, but it's not as good. I like this a lot, man. It pops, as soon as you take the picture, it pops it up there, and you can really look at it big.
Because
really see where those things are, working, and where you've got a hand that's like, oh, that hand doesn't look right, like it's turned or whatever. You know what I mean? So
I'm so glad you gave that, because just the other day I was like, oh my god, I don't know if I'm like, my eyes, because I'm getting older, my eyes, like I can't see through the viewfinder, and then it doesn't get to like, I take the picture, import it to my phone, bring it to my computer, and I'm like, oh, this is not what I want. And I'm like, oh, back up.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
All right, I gotta start doing that because Chris and I both have the Canon M50, so there is that app, Chris, that we can wire, and I just have to use it. It's just another, because you're right, it's seeing it that way.
Yeah, you can get a cheap stand for either like one of like a camera light stand or something that you've got. I mean, you could set it on a table too. It's not that, I mean, if you don't want to get too fancy about it, but it's just like having it next to the computer. I just bought this like gooseneck thing that holds the iPad so that I can just like sit there. And you can even like change the focus and change the settings on the camera from the iPad. I don't really do that, but like you can.
Oh, that's crazy.
Great, man. But yeah, I mean, he nailed it here. I mean, how many times he took it, but he got him looking right at him. It's perfect.
Yeah.
So good. It really
Great
is good.
shot.
So I do have answers from 850 Sith Lord. In terms of favorite toy growing up, it was the vintage. Here we go, Trev. This is for you. Vintage X-wing pilot Luke.
That was my favorite figure, man. I love that. There's something about that figure, man. It's really interesting. Like a lot of people in those days loved that figure.
Yeah. The story behind this picture was that we never really got to see Maul being a badass. So it's awesome that we get to create scenes of him being awesome.
Yeah,
that's so true.
Yeah,
it's so true. This is and then what's making me happy in the toy community right now is the Toy Pick community, the TPC, keeping contests going and supporting small accounts. Overall, this community is gold, and I'm very happy to be a part of it. Really tremendous stuff. It's so awesome. And as soon as you said vintage, because that's Trev, I remember that's your go-to answer. That's your vintage Star Wars. That's right.
One more thing about this is that the character who's being lifted, his head is being cropped at the top, and like normally, like cropping a head is not a problem depending on where you crop it and what they look like. You know what I mean? If they're bald, you don't want to crop, or if they have short hair at the top, you don't want to crop it and make them look bald. But like this is the back of a character, doesn't matter anyway. But I think the idea that he's actually being lifted off screen is even more impactful. Like it's even better that he's not entirely in frame. I really everything. This is really good, man.
This is really good.
How do you think he did that? Was there a stand? Whoa.
He must have had a stand and he photoshopped out, probably.
Yeah.
Or I mean, if he was doing it the ACBA way, he could have put a wire around his neck and top. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was thinking of how we could do that practically.
That would be the way I would think about doing it. If I was going to do that.
Cool.
Very nice.
So good.
Congratulations, 850 Sith Lord. That was an amazing photo.
Oh yeah.
And that brings us to the top spot.
One. Sorry.
This is Sydney.
Oh God, I saw this.
First of all, this hurts. Congratulations on coming in number one. But this is this week? 9 or 10 now? This is 9, right, Chris?
I thought it was 10. But
This is 10. This is the 10th episode.
Yeah.
So hopefully you've listened to us talking. Chris and I love Spider-Man, so this hurts my heart. This hurts my heart, but I'm very happy for you for coming in number one, Sydney.
This is so community voted, right?
Oh yeah, this is community voted. This is not a hate crime on Peter Parker.
Something I learned early on in my toy photography career: blood cells.
Yeah.
I did one shot with a predator ripping off the head of a stormtrooper, and the skull with the spine that the predator has, it's coming out of the storm. That got so many likes, ridiculous amount of likes. Everything I did, I thought was much better than this, but blood cells, man.
That's what we are a species that once supported gladiators and
True enough.
matches. So
True enough.
We do have that in us.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'll just the things that just stood out. I love the brickwork of the building itself crumbling, and again, just it's an exploding meat balloon, and that's what would happen if Rhino ever really got a hold of Peter, that's how it'd go down. So
an exploding meat balloon.
Right? A meat balloon.
I'm with you. Like when I first because when you see the top 10, it's all cropped because they all try to put all the pictures together. I was like, oh, number one had Spider-Man in it. Cool. And it wasn't until I started to do the slideshow, I'm like, oh, number one. It's like, oh, it's so depressing. But I really do like how this person, first of all, they took apart I'm guessing that's a Mafex Spider-Man, and then placed all the body parts intentionally across the picture and did it really nicely, to be honest. It made it look realistic. What I'm thinking is that blood splatter thing was made in the dio, right? That's what I'm guessing.
So I did not get answers from Sydney, which is okay. You know, like we always say, maybe if Sydney catches us on the replay, please make sure, you know, if you send me your answers, I will post them on your behalf, you know, as a comment to your Toy Pick community post. But I'm checking out the original one. So first of all, the caption was, "You have got in my way for the last time, webhead." Totally love it. And someone did ask about what they used for the paints and the blood and blood splatters. So said it was hot glue and Citadel. What is Citadel?
Citadel paints.
Citadel
Okay,
paints, yeah.
okay. So hot glue and Citadel to create that blood splatter.
Cool. Yeah,
It's a
Citadel
great
paints
effect.
are
I
real
mean,
great.
I don't know about realistic. It's a little trauma, like in terms of like it's a little over the top, a little peck and paw. That's,
Sure,
you know,
yeah.
if anybody knows what the hell that means, but you know what I'm saying. Older people will. It's a little over the top, but I mean you're selling it. Like that's what you're
Right.
doing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, it is that
Yeah.
type of thing, and it works. You know what I mean? It's gross, but excellent production. I mean, just putting that together and making it
Yeah.
look like that.
Yeah, the
looks
production.
incredible. Yeah.
And it's a fun use of, you know, especially for figures that have an easier time, you know, popping apart. Like if that is, I'm not sure if that's
old Mafex would
Mafex,
fall
right?
apart
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So like I know that I did this is, you know, I'm sure we all have different things, but like I love when you have a figure that can do that, because I like had Deadpool blow ups Reptile once, because I'm like, oh, I could just pull apart this and add the fluff and blah 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 and just have all the pieces everywhere. It's kind of neat.
Yeah.
So again, just being creative with not just the toys, but you know, getting them wet and taking them apart to come up with new things. It's just I love seeing the imagination. It's so good.
Yep.
So Sydney, congratulations once again for coming in first for last week, which I'm going to say again.
You're a
was
sick
January
MFer, but it's a good show.
27th. Yeah, it's twisted, but good on you. You did it. Like you said, blood cells. So Chris, you want to take us back through real quick?
Yeah, we can just go back, right? Just like and then 10. So Sydney Woodfield at number 1. Fantastic photo. Congratulations. We got 850 Sith Lord with an incredible Darth Maul, and I hope that's the figure arts.
I think it is the figure arts. Yeah.
Storybook Heroes, amazing. Just pick up basketball game. This is actually what I was doing in my game, what Jordan was doing. So I'm just
okay, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's how I
Sure
sprained
you
my
look
ankle.
Exactly like that.
Remember, secret hashtag TPC_16, and we'll feature 2 photos for next week.
That will be Trevor's choosing. Pressure's
Yeah.
on. And again, shout out to last week's. That was TPC_joy. So man, really, this is great because I love the high key style and the low key of these
It's
two.
black and white.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think that's so neat. It's awesome.
I really like that Hulk shot. That Hulk shot's very nice.
Yeah, the Hulk shot's really nice. Number 4, Intergalactic Raptor.
Always good. Wet your
Get
fingers.
my toys wet.
ABW, guys.
Make my
ABW.
toys wet. Hashtag.
Hashtag ABW.
That's always
Number 5, Paul Brown 12. Amazing dial work. I mean, I think that's pretty much what's on display here. I can't stop looking at those trees.
I just
no
love
everything about it. He's married his Dio trees to the background trees. It's really, really nicely done.
Yeah,
and I just love that it represents this culmination of like all his skills that he's built up in toy photography. Up until like I love moments like that when you feel like it all comes together.
So good. Number 6, Andrea, toy photography, amazing. Guinness. I hope you got to like save it after you did that.
Tag him and send it to him again.
Drink that Guinness after this photo.
Makes me want a Guinness.
Number 7, the Figma yeezus. Awesome.
It was great. They're all great.
Doomslayer, Master Chief. Number 8, Sean.shoots.toys. Practical effects.
Coming out of the shadows. Awesome.
Outdoor stuff, man. Outdoor stuff's not easy.
It's not.
No, it's not. It's
Number 9, Ian Saunders photography with Nosferatu. Fantastic
Awesome.
photo.
It's so creepy.
Really,
so
really nice.
creepy. It's the hands. It's the hands again.
And number 10, the Rad Toyologist
Ugh.
with The Last Ronin. Awesome. What a
That's good stuff.
fantastic,
Good stuff, man.
what a
Good stuff,
fantastic
really
top
good stuff.
10. Congratulations,
Great.
everyone.
Yes, and Trevor, thank you so much for joining us tonight, because I've been looking forward to it all week. And,
too, man.
This has
Me
been
too.
great. I love talking toys and talking toy photography. It's the
That's
best.
fun.
Honestly, Trevor, you added a nice polish to what the show lacks.
Oh, you guys are very
sometimes.
polished. You need to be more wet, though, I think.
We do need to get wet. We will get
More water.
We'll do
ABW.
Everywhere. Exactly, yeah. Do a little flash dance or whatever that thing was.
So Trev, as people have pointed out, you've been live everywhere. So where else can we find you next? What's some more upcoming
I'm gonna
appearances?
be nowhere for another week and a half because we don't have another 1 6-pack until next week. I am working on a shoot and review for the Iron Man Mark 1.
Okay.
From Hot Toys, which is pretty cool. So we'll see if I get that done by next week. Who knows?
Is that the one that just came out, or
yeah, it just came out.
Like
The
everybody was
original
like
suit.
drooling over that Tony head sculpt, right?
Yeah, and I'm not, well, no, that's
Or is
the
that-
Mark
that's the-
6. That's the
Oh,
Mark
okay.
6.
Yeah, Mark
this is the
1
Mark
is
1.
the-
The head sculpt, the Tony Held sculpt on this one is not great, but who cares? It's like the first suit that he came out of the cave
Right.
with, so
Right.
it just looks cool anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing a review on that, and probably review on these guys too. The Warduke and Grimsword I just got in, so I'll probably shoot
Oh,
those
cool.
guys because those are
Those look great.
adjacent.
Yeah.
Other than that, I got about 20 of these left, man.
Oh,
DM me, I will give you a discount code.
there we go.
Oh, nice. All right. Yeah.
Hey, it's still only February,
It's
everybody.
only
so there you go.
February. You only
Yeah.
missed 1 month,
Check
and
it
you
out.
can
Right.
you can look at that for a couple days if you want to, and then go.
Yeah.
January wasn't very good anyway, so don't worry about it. You didn't mind.
And Chris, what about you, my friends? Next live.
Yeah, next live Toy Talk on Monday. We have Sweetheart Harley on our show. So really excited because we haven't had a cosplayer on before. So really excited to have her on
That's awesome.
and talk about the cosplayer world.
Yeah, because all of these, I always like to joke that it's all these communities have Venn diagrams. So, we're all interlinked and intermingled. So it's just,
Yeah,
you guys have been doing a great job of expanding, the Toy Talk audience and bringing in these interviews have been awesome. You just had Machu Toy on.
We just have
Monday.
Machu Toy on Monday. So yeah, that's what I love about this show itself. We get to concentrate on toy photography. What I really like about Toy Talk is just concentrate on the toy community at large and inviting different people from the toy community, whether you're a toy photographer, whether you're an influencer, whether you're a cosplayer. So that's what we really enjoy doing.
Yeah. And then I'll throw out my show is 8 o'clock on Sundays, and it's kind of a hybrid of all of these things. Talk a lot about toy joy, things that bring me joy. Talk about toy photography tips and life in general. But it's always a blast.
It is always a blast. If you want to see someone that gets really excited about their purchases, watch them.
really excited.
Yeah, really excited.
So I need to buy some new stuff. I need to ship my pile of loot. That's what I need to do. But yeah, stuff is coming in slow. I need that new Mythic and Cosmic
this guy.
Oh,
you got
did
Bishop?
get,
Nice.
Bishop and this girl came in.
Ooh,
Oh, I like that figure, man. Like a lot of people didn't like the head sculpt, but I like it a lot.
The head sculpt's amazing.
Yeah, I think they said the head was too small. I just sold my Marvel Legends one because I just like this one's so much better. I'm
So
just going
good.
all Mafex on the X-Men at this point.
Yeah.
I know. They've been killing it.
Yep.
So everybody, thank you so much in the chat. Just looking at Not a Bird. Thank you for always, you've been there with us, supporting us from the beginning. Glad you appreciate and enjoy the show. Pablo. Thank you again. Jace, Futeric 97, just to name a few. Thank you everybody for choosing. I say this at the end of my stream every time, but I like to say here too again, thank you all. We appreciate you taking time out of your life to listen to us talk about toys and photography. So really appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Can't wait to see you all next week for another TPC. I said it right. Yeah, TPC top 10. And again, thanks a lot, Trevor.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.